Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So there's one thing I really cannot understand and put my head around, and it's really just I just don't understand it. I can't comprehend why some people are like this. Okay, we're talking about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and you start talking about all these innocent kids that were killed, and these buildings that were bombed, these international war crimes committed by Israel. And then they always, the next, I bet you, everyone who's had these conversations with these pro-Israelis, they all go back to the same thing. They start pointing fingers at Hamas. Well, Hamas started it, self-defense by Israel, Hamas. Then they start bringing up Syria and Muslims and all these things. It's like, bro, check the facts. We're not talking about Hamas. Stop trying to divert it. Stop trying to divert to Hamas and about religion and about all these different things. We're talking about what Israel has done. They literally committed genocide. They killed 60 plus kids. They destroyed buildings that were considered international war crimes to destroy. You're talking about hospitals, media outlets, schools. They bombed these things, and they claimed outrageous claims of bombs underneath the buildings and human shields and Hamas living. And they've done the investigations on these things. You don't think the United Nations hasn't done their investigations? They have, and zero evidence. There's no evidence of these things, but people just believe it. And they start putting that information out there, like, look at this propaganda that Palestinians and Hamas are doing. Are you kidding me? It's the opposite. Israel's pushing out this propaganda to claim their self-defense. Why? They have this objective of the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people for the longest time. And people say, well, they could just go in there if they wanted and destroy them if that was the case. True. They could do that, but they won't, because then that'll be a national war cry. So they have to put it in a way where it's justified to the world that they can destroy and kill kids and destroy the buildings and ethnic cleanse them, and at the same time be the victim and claim self-defense. And this is how they do it, and people just fall for it all the time. And so now they have the right to kill anyone they want, oppress them, burn trees and destroy buildings, and still play the victim at the same time. And people are going to take their backs. Americans are going to have their back, and the Palestinians are left there on their own to defend themselves. And every time they defend themselves, they are the ones who they are the oppressors, and they are the terrorists, and they're these horrible people. But no one sees the other side of it, and they always point to, well, Hamas started it. Well, about that, well, look to what before Hamas. Hamas it's been there for what, 10 plus years? I don't know. It's been going on since 1948. So how are you going to say this is all Hamas? It's been oppressions have been way before Hamas. Well, how about those years of the no freedom of movement? They destroyed the airports. They've been taking land way before Hamas. And then what about the Mosque Al-Aqsa? This happened 20 days or so before the first rocket was fired. The Sheikh Jarrah. This has all happened before the rockets were fired. So Palestinians don't have the right to defend themselves. And the minute they do send a rocket, they send one rocket. Oh, okay, Israel plays the victim, starts destroying cities, buildings, kids, blowing them into pieces. No one cares. Oh, Hamas fired the first rocket. Well, why? Ever think why Hamas just randomly shoot freaking rockets? Yeah. I'm so heated because I was having this conversation with, a couple of different people on Facebook, and this is the stuff they bring up, and then they automatically go to the Quran, and it's like, why even bring religion into this? When did the religion come into this? Yeah, I could destroy your claims about the Quran. You don't know anything, and they claim you know so much about the Quran and Islam. Like, bro, you know nothing. You're just spouting that same information, same propaganda you see on the news. Islam teaches to kill all people and everything. Well, why is Israel doing that? Why is the Palestinians not going and killing kids and stuff? Why? Because Islam doesn't teach this type of thing. And what the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in the Hadith, even in war, we don't cut down trees, we don't kill kids, we don't kill elderly. What's Israel doing? They don't care. During war, they kill kids, they kill elderly. They have no regard for human life, Palestinian human life. And this isn't against Jews, don't get me wrong. In Islam, we're not against a certain type of people just because they identify as a certain race or religion. And if Muslims do that, we condemn that because that's not what we teach. But we don't hold a whole religion accountable for all one person's, actions. If Israel is doing this, we're against Israel, the Zionists in Israel. We're not against all Jews. Those Zionists with that propaganda and with that agenda, we're against those kind of people. Those oppressors we're against. And as a true Jew and a true Christian, you should also be against those oppressors and support the real Jews out there that are actually the Semitic people of the land. Okay? And they say, it brings up another point, the anti-Semitism. Oh, you're anti-Semite, blah, 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 blah. Who's the real Semites? The land belongs to the descendants of Abraham, salam, right? So who are the descendants of Abraham, salam? From Isaac and from Ishmael. Are those Israelis, they are actually descendants of Isaac? No, they came from Europe. They came from Europe. The British gave them that land. So they're not even Semitic. We have more right to that land. We came from the line of Ishmael, and as the Arabs, the Palestinians have that more right than those European Jews there. So if you're going to be anti-Semite, you're anti-Semite against those Arabs living there, to be honest. So all these arguments are refuted. They're old, they're washed, and if you come up against these people in your talks or whatever, most of them are ignorant and arrogant and don't want to listen, but at least get that narrative out there, and maybe you could change one or two person's mind, whatever. And if not, maybe other people can see it and they'll change their mind. But it's something that we need to keep on doing and do not stop the narrative. Us on social media is actually, we're doing a great job of pushing this narrative and actually getting this word out of what's happening. And you can see that the Ummah is actually united in this. We're united in something, finally. Alhamdulillah, it's actually something that's bringing us together, this conflict. And just because of the ceasefire does not mean we stop. Keep going, please. Keep spreading the word. Keep up with your hashtags. Make videos, make memes and whatever. Just keep spreading the word. Expose this Israeli propaganda. Expose the Zionists. Let's expand on this and get the Palestinians the rights that they need, inshallah. And keep them in your du'as. Keep doing your prayers, and keep up on this, please, inshallah. Please continue to support, inshallah. And if you guys have any questions or anything, please, I'm always open for messages, or I'm very fast in responding. I'm not that, I don't have a mass following or anything, so I can actually answer questions and help out with your guys' agenda. If you guys need help with something in your media, let me know, and we work together on this. We're one ummah. And those non-Muslims, if you have any non-Muslims watching this, any questions about this conflict or about Islam in general, please don't be afraid to ask. I'm always open. I'm not super aggressive, as you can see, and I'm always down for friendly conversations. So let me know, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Barakatuh.